Hello everyone, morning, welcome to the channel. This is Ben at Ben's Restos. So this morning we're out on location. Decided to take my latest build out for a bit of a spin and a bit of a shakedown ride. So just done a short one just to check everything's working okay, and the early results are good. The bike rides very well, really pleased with it. It looks great. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I think it looks very of its time, which is kind of what I wanted to achieve. All the shiny red bits don't look too bad. They look kind of cool, I think. Yeah, with the bike set as it is, it fits pretty well. I think one of the things I'm going to do is reduce the length of the stem, because I think it's about 130 or 150 mil. It's a bit too long really, so I'm going to see if I can get a 90 mil, something that's a bit shorter. Hopefully we'll tighten up the steering just a little bit, but still look kind of right. Yeah, so here it is. I'll do a bit of a montage in a bit so you can see a bit closer around it. But yeah, rides very well. Rear suspension works really well. Really pleased with it. Climbs really nicely, feels really efficient and comfortable. It's a very much a cross-country bike feel. It's still pretty light. I haven't put it on the scales yet, but it feels substantially lighter than my 29er hardtail. So yeah, it's amazing how much lighter these older bikes were. I guess they're a lot smaller and probably a lot more flexible. When I was doing the build, I had a bit of an issue with the rear shock at first, so it kind of almost felt like it was hydraulicking, and the guy I bought it from had assured me it had been serviced correctly, but when I had it apart it had been overfilled with oil, as I suspected, and luckily I found the spec and managed to set the oil height, and now it feels like it should. It's a slightly higher rate spring, but actually at the moment it's sort of for cross country it feels alright. We'll see. Also the seat post that came in the bike was, well, firstly wasn't right, and secondly it was a bit short because it had been chopped down, so I managed to source an original spec Ritchie seat post, so this is what the bike would have come with originally, and it's a bit longer, so now it suits me, fits me well. Pedals work okay. You know, tyres and tubes, the specialised tyres are a little bit later. They're the Captains, so I think they're probably more into the early noughties, mid noughties, but they're still specialised tyres, and they work pretty well. Front forks seem okay. A bit noisy on the sort of lighter bump, first 10-15 mil of travel. Sound a bit rattly. I think some of these Z1 models did make a bit of noise, but I will do a bit more research just to make sure there's nothing gone awry there. But the you know, the seals are doing their job, nice and dry, and not letting any oil seep out, which is good. Rear shock looks okay as well. Saddle feels nice and comfortable. SDG titanium rail saddle. Been using these for years on a lot of my bikes. Feels really good. Grips are nice. OD grips. Been using these for years as well. And they come in all sorts of cool colours. Bars, by modern standards, feel very narrow. By standards of the day, they were probably reasonably wide, but they feel okay. I think with the shorter stem, it'll come out nicely. And so the rear end, really impressed with this sort of 4-bar linkage FSR design. So that this particular frame shape, this is a 98 model. This particular design of frame came out in 97. In 98 they came out in the very kind of lurid colours, so they did this sort of mango orange, they did a bright sort of lime green as well. But yeah, it works really well. I did have a Zonic full suspension bike with the 4-bar linkage, but with the sort of vertical mounted shock and the rocker arm, that felt very plush and nice, but it didn't feel quite so efficient when riding it and climbing it, whereas this feels almost like a hardtail. And when it feels very efficient, and it feels like you can sort of really sort of pump hard, and when sitting down it seems to work best, obviously, but even when you stand up, get up off the saddle, it still feels pretty good. So yeah, really pleased with the bike. I think I'm just going to sort of keep hold of it, use it for sort of summer use, really, bit of fun, and maybe just tweak it here and there as I get into it, just to get it absolutely how I want it. Rear brake, got new pads on it. It's an Avid. They feel alright. It's amazing how spoiled you get with disc brakes, but yeah, it does the job. Front disc brake, I think, isn't feeling as efficient as it should, so I'm going to bleed it, and we'll take the pads out and have a look at those again. And I did sort of scuff them up, but it might be that we need to get some new pads. But it's sort of doing the job, but I know it can do better. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoy the bike, and we'll see you soon.